Good morning, everyone. My name is Lytle. Let me press the record button. Hi, everyone. My name is Lytle, and I'll be hosting today's Friday training for EDGE. And what this course is a basic education on EDGE. We'll show you how to create a total cost analysis on an FHA product as well as a conventional product. And with this, we're going to build fee templates and product templates, so you'll be able to know how to create those into your account. And all the functions that we're going to use creating a total cost analysis can also be used with the open house flyer, the rent versus own reports. So it's all universal, so everything we learned today, we'll be able to apply it with all the different types of reports. So first off, I want to ask two poll questions real quick. So if you can respond, as soon as you respond, we'll be able to close them down. So Marcy, if you could go ahead and launch those poll questions. So the first question we have here, and I can't read it. Have you had a chance to create a EDGE report? So if you can go ahead and answer that, we're almost at, we're at 71%, couple more. Great. So basically, we have 20% who have touched EDGE and created a report. Great for you. And we have 80% who have not. So this is a perfect place to start. So we have one more poll to launch. Marcy, if you could go ahead and close that poll and launch the next poll. Okay. So now our next poll is: have you had a chance, or have you had a chance to download the mobile device? So that is for RateWatch as well as, okay, we got some in there, and we'll see our mixed results. Almost there. If you could go ahead and answer, we're only at 67%. So, okay, we have a couple more. We have 71% said yes and 29% no. So I'll review it real quick, how to download the app before we start our process. So Marcy, you could go ahead and close that poll. Thank you so much. And so what I'm going to do is bring over my reflector, and I have my iPad open to RateWatch. So if we were on about 5 minutes ago, you would have seen a green screen. The rates have just moved, so now we have a red screen, so that's meaning the rates are bad. So just want to be able to provide you a couple information. When you're working with the app for RateWatch, you would touch this corner button in the upper left-hand corner to bring out your menu. And with your menu, you have your home screen. You have your day watch, so this is showing how the movement are today. And then you have also alerts. So if you had an alert today for the rates, it would show here, as well as if you had placed your settings, you would receive that alert. EDGE views, you can see the reports I've been touching. You'll be able to get those email alerts in your RateWatch as well. Commentary section, we have commentary. Neil's is economic data that we have here, and also some advice down in the lower section. And we also have, I want to point out, Dan Rotwich, which also provides a daily video. So just want to point out this link here. If you watch that video, you can always bookmark it. We always update his each video to that link, so you'll be able to have all of them there. So just want to point that out. And lastly, I want to touch base with settings. So this is where you go ahead and update your information, identify what alerts you want to receive, then update schedule is the times you want to see those alerts, and then make sure once you're all done, just go ahead and you'll be able to get those as well. So once you have that, now let me go ahead and show you how you can download these apps. So this is the RateWatch app. And just to show you, this is our Mortgage Coach app. This is where you'll be able to view the different style reports on a mobile device. So with that, let me go ahead and show you real quick how you can download both those apps. We have the Mortgage Coach app here as well as RateWatch here. So let's go to, what you would do is go to the App Store, and in the search for Mortgage Coach. So when you do that, let me go ahead and do my search. It will go ahead and bring up both our apps. So you'll get the RateWatch download as well as the mobile app to view the reports. So it's that simple. They're free apps. You would just go ahead, download them, and be able to have them on your mobile devices. Also to let you know, RateWatch, we also have a desktop version. It is in the chat box, so you'll be able to go ahead and grab that link and download it onto your desktop. So I went ahead and closed out that, and now let's go ahead and start jumping into Edge. The way we're working with GoToMeeting is open up the question box, because the questions, if you have any questions along the way, post them in there and I'll answer them as we go. So we're going to log into Edge, which is edge.mortgagecoach.com. You'd place your email address and then your password. And if you don't know your login ID or password, you could go ahead and email us at support and we could provide that to you. And okay. So we have that. So now you're looking at our home screen. So in our home screen, the upper section here is for client-facing reports. This is your total cost analysis and your rent versus own reports. In the lower half here, this is your partner-facing reports. This is for the open house flyer and seller buy down. So again, both functions we're learning today could be used in both areas here. Now, if you're in Edge, I would like you to create the report with me, but at least get into the account and go through and touch all the things I'm touching, so it gets you familiar with being in Edge. So the next place I want you to go is click on Settings, and I want to be able to show you in the contact info, make sure all your information is correct here. If you have fields that are grayed out, possibly you're on an enterprise account and they're controlling those fields, you'll see that my license number is grayed out. I would have to go to the administrator to modify this if they had an incorrect number, or email us at support and we can help you out. Also want to identify, if you put a license number, make sure you put the identifier in front of that number, because that's what's going to appear on the report. So if it's a DRE, MLS number, just go ahead and place that in front of the number. Make sure your address is correct, your branch address, and press save. Anytime you make a change in here, press save, and that will save the data to your account. Next, I want to point out the image tab. If you're on an enterprise account, you might already have your logo uploaded for you. If not, just do a browse, find your logo, and go ahead and upload it here, and same with your image. So both pieces will be on the report, so you want to make sure you upload your information. Fee and product templates, we do have a tab for those, but I'm going to show you how to create a product and fee template by working in your report. And then we'll come in here afterwards and I'll show you how you can update them. So now let's go back to the home screen and let's start a report. So our first thing, to start a new report, you want to click on New Client. If it's the open house flyer you're doing, you would want to do a new partner. If you have a report that's already created, you do have your scroll bar here. Or I just want to point out, we do have a View All that shows all your reports. So you'll be able to see all your reports that you have created. And we also have a filter. So say I put in the word purchase. The reason why I put the word purchase in is I use that in my friendly name field that I'll talk about shortly. But when you click on these arrows, you'll be able to see all the different friendly name fields and the different files for that particular person. We do have a copy feature I wanted to point out where you could copy the report. So maybe Bill's coming in with an investment property that he wants to work with you. You already have his contact information, so you could just do a quick copy or add analysis. Add analysis would just take the contact information. Copy just takes all your data file and copy it completely. So again, if you want more information later on the copy, email us at support. We'll be able to provide that. And we also have a video tutorial on how to do a copy. And our video tutorials are all located in our help button. So we have many, and we also have a search engine here. So if I put in the word copy, and you can see how I can copy an existing report. We also have how to copy fee templates and items like that. We also have up here how to create individual reports, as well as I want to point this out. You're all new to Edge. I want to show you on this video tutorial. We will be reviewing the TCA, but there's another video tutorial that will just be able to explain it in detail. So if you want more information, you have that. We have it as a YouTube link, as well as a direct download for those who have the YouTubes turned off in their office. So now let's go back to Edge and let's click on New Client and start our process out. So you'll see when you come into Edge and you're going to create a total cost analysis or a rent versus own, we have 8 screens at the base that we want to go through. The first 4 of these screens are just collecting data, and I'm going to explain the fields for you, but you can always just go ahead and do the minimal amount. And so that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So really, you could go through 1 through 4 screens with about 5 fields. So that's why I want to explain how quick and easy it is, but we will go ahead and draw this out and be able to show you what all the fields are. So let's go ahead and put in John Jones. I have enough Smiths in there. So with that, you would put in your first, middle, and last name. Don't need the middle if you don't want. But I want to point out these 2 buttons at the top. You have individual versus marketing. And the only difference is first name, middle, last, and then you also have your co-bar for the individual report. If I click it on marketing, I have just the report headline, and pretty soon these 2 fields here are going to be removed as well. So that's the only difference. So I'm going to click it back to individual. If you have a co-borrower, you could key their information in. And next, you have a phone number. You don't have to put this number in, but again, if you have it, put it, and you can build out your Edge account. Does she rent or own? You want to mark own for the total cost analysis and rent to do a rent versus own report. So that's the control on each of those. And next we have a referred by field if you want to capture the referral. Partner email, I'm going to go ahead and put in an email address for this. And what this is, obviously an email, what this partner email address, so say you're working with your borrower and you have a particular partner, realtor, you want them to receive the email alerts. You could put their email address here, and there's a toggle in the very last screen that will allow you to send them an email alert. So I place that email address in here so we'll be able to see how that works in the end. If you have a loan officer's assistant, you want them to receive the alerts, you could go ahead and place their information in there. And if you want to see what the email alert is, what it will do is when you send a presentation to a client, you'll be able to, once they close the report, they viewed it, as soon as they close it, the close aspect triggers the alert. So you're going to get an email letting you know who the report is for, how long they viewed it. So in this case, it was 25 minutes and 32 seconds. It has their information. If you fill in that phone number, I'll have that phone number here as well. So this way you'll be able to see they've opened the report, and it's time now to give them a call, reach out to them, and answer any kind of questions. So that's what the email alert will do, and you can also send it to your partner, and they can see that the client has viewed the report. Now our friendly name field. This is when we were in that copy area. I said there was the word purchase. You could put any kind of information. This is your reference in that filter area. So you'd be able to identify your report. So it's a good habit to put a friendly name in there. In this case, I'm just putting the word purchase. In the open house flyer, a good friendly name is your street address, because you're going to be copying so you don't have to key in that realtor's information over, but you need to identify that open house. So the street address is always a good friendly name field. And then I also want to point out too, so say if you don't want to put the last name of your borrower due to privacy, so say if I removed it, you know, I'm going to have maybe more than one John in my system, so I want to put in his full name in the friendly name field. So again, I'd be able to search. So that's a way to search for loans if you're going to keep it private and remove that last name. So now I'm going to move to the next screen by using that arrow in the middle of the screen. You'll now see there's an arrow on the right as well as on the left. So anytime you move back and forth, you'll be able to save your data. In just one moment, I have a question from Christine. Can the email alerts be changed to notify us when the report is open rather than notify us when it's or when it's closed? Unfortunately, right now, Christine, it can only notify you when the report is closed. And the reason for that is at that point in time, you know the borrower has reviewed the report and it's time to answer any questions. And with Edge, we have Edge Live. So when you make that call, they'll be able to pull up the report. You can walk them through them with Edge Live and really point it out. So right now we don't have it when it opens, only when it gets closed. So in our goals section, I'm going to mark purchase. And that's all you need to do. This will provide you purchase screens. If you left that unmarked, you get refis. So again, you have other goal areas in here. If you want to fill those out, great, but it's not necessary, and we'll move to the next screen. In this screen for the property address, I'm going to go ahead and put in a loan amount of $250. So those of you who are following along, go ahead and key that in. And I want to point out this field in red. So with this field in red, I want to be able to, I went ahead and removed my field and advanced the screen. You'll notice at the very base, there's an exclamation mark now on that screen. That is telling me I have a field in red that has been left empty. So as soon as I put that information back in, advance the screen, that exclamation mark's gone. So there's only a couple fields that are marked in red, and those are necessary fields. In this particular case, it controls your LTV percentage. If you're doing a refinance, you could capture the data for their current mortgage, original appraisal, and a payoff. We discuss those more when we do refinances. We do have a Thursday training where we dive into these a lot more detail. Moving on, affordability screen, how I mentioned before that there's minimum amount of data that you have to key in. So in a sense, this screen you don't really need to fill out. So I want to show you what it does so you can make the decision on to use it or not. So if I put in an annual gross amount of income of $95,000, you'll notice this drop down for credit status. This is if you're holding that conversation and they told you they had good credit. This way you'll be able to keep it. We do not run credit through Edge, so again, it's just more for your information. Say they have $500 in monthly non-mortgage debt. So by putting this in, we'll provide your debt-to-income ratio in your product screen. Same with the savings balance. What this is good for, I'm putting in $25,000 at 0.25% as an interest rate. This savings account information, if this is the information that you're receiving from the borrower, it would be able to help you know if they have enough cash to close. And when we get to our analysis screen, I'll be able to show you how both these figures will come into play, and you can see if they have enough cash to close. Tax bracket percentage, if you were doing a rent versus own, you would definitely need to put in a tax bracket. And if you don't know your tax bracket, we do have an additional button here that will take you to a website, and you can identify the year and their filing status and find that tax bracket. Again, this is pre-GFE. It's just an estimate, and when you're working with them, if you find out their tax bracket, you can update the report with the correct information. If you're doing MCC credit loans, tax credits, we do have the capability of showing a loan comparison with one with and one without. So you'll be able to show the impact of that credit. Moving on, our next screen is our affordability, and you could tell this is just information to be able to capture. This was designed as a flow, as a conversation that you have with them, and that's why we're collecting all this additional data. This instance, I'm just bypassing this screen, and now we're in our products. So we went through the 4 screens. I did explain all the different details, but again, you just really have that name and that property value field that you need to key in. So now let's go ahead and put in a name for this product. So I'm going to call this FHA 3.5% down. Our labels for each product need to be 12 characters, and we can do up to 4 products per loan scenario. So with that, just keep your titles to 12. If you're doing a refinance, you want to mark this as yes for refi. And for those of you who, well, first let's put in our purchase price of $250. And now for those of you who are on an enterprise account, you might have product templates. And if you do, open up that drop down and select the one that is for an FHA 3.5% down. In this case, I'm not going to select a template because I want to show you how to create one from scratch and explain all the fields. So is this a VA or FHA program? You want to mark yes. That will be part of your default. I'm now going to press this percentage key and open up my down payment percentage field, and then the system will calculate that base loan amount. This will also be part of your default. So now let's put in 4.25% as a rate and 360 as the term, and the term will also be part of your default. So the only thing you'll have to do is put on a label and put on your interest rate as soon as you pick that template drop down. Now I want to point over to the upper right-hand corner. You'll see that the graph is empty, same with the DTI and the LTV. As soon as we advance the screen, that information starts building out. So this right now is just your straight P&I until we get into our monthly cost screen. And then you also have your debt or your loan to value as well as your debt to income ratio. Now for our upfront MIP, let's go ahead, click on that percent sign and put in 1.75. And I'm going to add that to the loan amount. This is part of your default. Prepaid interest, let's put in 15. Check with your company to see if they quote 15 or 20, 15 or 30 days for your prepaid interest, and go ahead and place that in there. And you'll notice I hover my mouse over that field and it'll provide me that dollar amount. And Christine has a question, do we use the VA FHA button for USDA loans as well? Yes, you could go ahead and do that so you put in that guarantee fee up front. And if you're doing conventional loans with single premium, buying out the MI, you would use that field as well. So all this is doing, this yes and no tag for FHA VA program, is just providing the upfront MIP field or the guarantee field. So yes, definitely use that for those particular products. Now how to do fees. There's a couple ways of doing fees. You can always do a lump sum of fees like this and put in your estimate of APR fees, non-APR fees, and if you had contributions. Or I'm going to show you how to use the closing cost detail screen. And by doing this, you'll be able to itemize your fees, provide that transparency to the borrower. And once you build out your fee template, you'll be able to save it the first time. So that way you're not doing it each time. So, it's just the beginning work that you're going to have to do a little bit. Now I want to point out to the templates. So if you're on an enterprise account, you might have some templates created. If you do, and there's one for a purchase FHA, go ahead and select that. And now let's show you how to build this fee template. So we're going to do this with the FHA product. Then we're going to go into the conventional product and use the template. So I'll show you how to pull it down and make modifications. So when you're building a fee template, what I suggest is to get a fee cost sheet from your LOS system. And with that, it will have your fee labels, the descriptions of your fees, the dollar amounts of your fees, and if the fee is an APR or not. So to me, that is the best way to start building out your fee templates. You'll notice in this blue bar area, we automatically have our prepaid interest of 15 days for $28.74, and that starts out our total amount for the borrowed paid costs. You'll also notice two buttons. We have an add fee and an add custom fee. So what I'm going to do is show you how to enter 5 different types of fees. We're going to do an APR fee, non-APR fee. We're going to do a custom fee, so you'll be able to see how that is created, and then I'll show you the contributions and how to enter a contribution. So first I'm going to go ahead and click on add fee twice, and you'll see that now we have 2 line items. We'll be able to have the description of the fee, the method in the sense of if you want 1% plus maybe a padding of $25, you could do that. Just show you what those 2 fields are for. You'll have the total amount here. You can indicate who pays the fee, if the fee is an APR or not. If you're doing a refinance, if you want to add that fee to the loan amount. And if you have a prepaid escrow or any fee that's not a cost of the loan. So if for some reason you put in a lender credit, which I'll show, not a lender credit, earnest money, something like that. It's not a cost of the fee, but you want to be able to show it that amount that has been received to be applied against the loan. So it's not a cost. So that's what PPE means. So now we go into our descriptions, and in the down arrow, if we want, we could go ahead and type A for admin fee. So if I had that and put in $9.95, and I'm marking it yes for an APR. So that's one, how quick and easy it is to create an APR fee. So say if you were doing a processing fee, I would just type the letter P, choose processing, U for underwriting. So you get the idea. So you just move around within that drop down, be able to find that fee. And I'll show you shortly how, if you can't find that description or want to use your own description, how we could create that custom fee. So now let's go ahead and choose an appraisal fee. So with that appraisal fee, I'm just going to go ahead and go down through my arrows there and choose appraisal fee and put in that dollar amount. Whoa, 4,000, so 475. I didn't mark APR on that admin fee because I had unmarked it, so I want to make sure I place that on there. So we have our 2 fees that will be part of that template. So you would just keep doing it as long as you see the, basically your fees, just keep adding them. Now let's go in and create a custom fee. So if you want to click on that, you have a fee description name, say, any typical fee. You might, even processing, it might be, say, letter processing. If you want it to read exactly, you could go ahead and create that fee description here. So I'm just going to go ahead and custom fee. If I use that percentage, if you're creating you could do stamp taxes. I've done those working with the percentage and the padding. You can have the percentage go off the loan amount or the property value. So, or the sales price. So you can do the percentage off both. If it's a prepaid item, you could go ahead and indicate so there. Or if it's an APR item, you can also indicate so. I'm going to press OK, and now that custom fee is in my drop-down list. So I can use that for any future templates. I don't have to create it multiple times. So now let's go ahead and put in 450 as my custom fee, and I'm going to say it's a non-APR item. So that's non-APR, APR, and then custom fee. Now let's show you how to work contribution. So I'm going to click on Add Fee. And in our drop-down, we do have a label called Contribution. And we have logic built behind this particular fee. So if I select Contribution and say I had $1,000 that I wanted to apply that was the contribution, I enter it as a positive, and you'll see it automatically selects lender who is paying that fee. But you can identify if the seller's picking it up or the broker. We do have indicated that the lender paid is now $1,000, and our borrower paid fees were reduced by that amount. So now say you don't want to use the word contribution, but you want to use the word lender credit. So to do that, it's a little different because there's no logic built behind your custom fees. So let's show you how to do that. I'm just going to say lender credit. Press OK. And you have to enter it as a negative. And because by entering it as a negative, it will offset your borrower cost here. So that's because there's no logic, you would have to key it as a negative and keep it as a borrower fee just to be able to reduce the borrower costs. So if you have any questions on fee templates here, we're going to do it one more time in the conventional. So think of any questions you want to have or that you want answered, and let me know, and we could talk about that a little bit more. So to remove a fee, just press that trash can, and it removes that line item. So once you're done, to be able to save it as a template, there's a button at the base, Save as Template, and just go ahead and put in the name of that template that you want to save it. I'm going to say this is my FHA purchase, and you don't need to do this, but I am putting today's date on here just so you'll be able to see that this is the template for today that I created. If you originate multiple states, you want to identify the state that you're doing business in, and you can build up fee templates that way as well. So once I press OK, you'll see in the drop down here that now here's my FHA template that we just built. So once you're all done adding your fees, you want to click on Apply to Loan. So now you'll see that my APR fees have been grayed out. And if you want to make any changes here, you just need to go back up to your closing cost details and make any kind of changes. So if I just reduce that contribution, always apply it to the loan. So now you'll see that there's no prepaid escrows here. So we did modify our system where you don't have to put them in the closing cost details. So let's show you how to default your prepaid escrows. So let's advance to our monthly cost screen. And here, let's just open up those percentage fields and put in your estimate. So in this particular case, I'm estimating 0.35 and 1.25 for my taxes. If you want to estimate a dollar figure, that's fine. You could also just go over here and put in a dollar amount. So both these fields will be part of your default, and we'll show you in settings how you can modify these if they ever change. Now, mortgage insurance. On FHAs, they require 3.5% down. They have a 1.35% MI factor, and you want to make sure you have it marked Calculate MI on Balance. So, Christine, this is also necessary for USDA loans. So anytime you need that declining balance for MI, you need to make sure this box is marked. Now I'm going to the MI cutoff month, and for FHA loans greater than 90%, you need to carry MI for the life of the loan, and that's what this field is doing. I put in 360, which is my term, so now the system knows I want MI for the life of the loan. So just to let you know, the MI field, the Calc on Balance field, and this 360 are part of your default. So that's why it's important to build these templates and not have to think about these as well. So now with our reserve months, I want to put in 2 months reserves and 4 months taxes, and I'm going to collect 12 months premium. So this will also be part of your defaults. Even with the defaults, if the years change, or as the different months change, you can always just override that. Maybe it's 5 months you have to collect for that particular month. You can always update your templates or just do an override. So either way will work. So to show you how this escrow works, you can go ahead and stay on your monthly cost screen if you're there. Let me back up and show you. So if I go back a screen, you'll see now prepaid escrows has a total. And in our closing cost detail, we have 3 additional line items. You have your reserves for hazard and taxes, as well as your premium. So if I wanted to remove, say I didn't want to collect my premium, I'm clicking on that trash can. I removed it from my line item. I applied to the loan. And now you'll see when I go to the monthly costs, my monthly premium box is no longer marked. So that's how those 2 screens connect. So if you remove it from the fee details, it will remove these particular fields here. If you ever need to change the dollar amount, you need to go ahead and modify either the percentage or the number of months you're collecting. If you're doing a second lien, we do have those options. You just mark yes. When you advance the screen, it collects the data on second liens. So now let's create our second product, and I clicked on Add Another Product, and let's do conventional, 5% down. Again, if you have a product template for conventional, go ahead and choose that. I'm putting in $250,000 for my purchase price. Down payment is 5%, rate 4.5, and term 360. So the 5 will go ahead and be defaulted as well as my 360. I'm keeping it no as FHA because I do not have any upfront, and I'm doing monthly MI. Advancing my screen, you'll see that the upfront MI field is no longer there. Let's put in our 15 days prepaid interest, and now let's go into our closing cost details. What I'm going to do is pull down my FHA template you just created. So this is the quick way of developing the second and third and fourth templates. So if I click on FHA purchase, I can add additional fees if I had additional fees for this new conventional template, or modify the fees. My appraisal amount might only be $450. Once you've added this, some have tax service, some don't, things like that. Just create your template, add, subtract from the one you've already built, and when you're done, just save it as a new template. So if I do that and put in conventional purchase, and let me put the date so you can see that this is my template I created, and press OK, you'll now see that in the template as well. So that's how quick it is to build out the templates. You can do it separately in your settings or while you're building your product. So if you have a particular product that you don't do too often, you had to modify your fees, make sure you save it as a template so you don't have to do that fee structure again. So once we're done, apply to loan. And now let's put in our percentages. So 0.35. 1.25, and I'll put MI at 0.67. Now let me talk about the MI cutoff and the MI cutoff month field. So we have the 78%. So what this is telling us right now is MI is going to be carried until the LTV reaches 78%, and then it'll be dropped from your loan. So say you had a policy that requires a minimum of 2 years paying MI. So if I put 24 months in that MI cutoff month, the system will have MI for 24 months, and at the 25th month, it starts looking at that LTV cutoff. So that's how those two fields work in conjunction. When we put the 360 in here for FHA, that means it's never going to look at that MI cutoff percentage. So you can remove the 78 or keep it in. It really doesn't matter. I'm not marking calculate MI imbalance because I got a conventional product. Now let's put in 2 months, 4 months, and collect 12 months premium. So again, you have add another product. You could do these 4 times. And the one thing I forgot to mention on the FHA, which we'll go back and do, and it'll show you how to move around the screens rather quickly, is save a template. So on the product, go ahead and click on Save as Template. You'll see how it brought my label over that I had called it initially. And I am going to put in today's date. Again, just so you'll be able to see that in the drop-down. So let's go back to the FHA and create a template as well. So I'm putting my mouse over products, looking at my FHA. It pulls up the FHA, and just click twice to get your monthly cost screen. Let's go ahead and save it as a template. It brings over FHA, and then I'm bringing in today's date. Again, for my purpose only, you don't need to put a date. When I advance the screen, just to be able to show you, you'll now see the templates you just created. So here's my FHA template. Whoops, no it's not. Here's my FHA and my conventional templates right here. Okay, so now let's go to the very last screen of the conventionals. We've saved our templates, so now you'll be able to use those on future loans. And now when you advance the screen, we're going to the analysis screen. So this is where you could customize the report. You have the property appreciation rate of 3. You could drop it to 0 if you choose to. And I'll show you on the report where this information will carry through. If your appreciation rate in your area might be 2, go ahead and update that with 2. Short term is our lower left-hand quadrant of the report, and we're showing 60 months. You can always change this. Say if it was 7 years that the borrower is saying that minimum time period they're going to be in that house, you can show that short-term savings for that 7-year mark. Long-term is at 15, and again, that's the lower right-hand corner. You can always change that number too. So if I wanted to see how much interest in MI is paid for 30 years, you could go ahead and modify that. Now you have your total interest in MI paid, total net worth if you wanted to show that. That's when you use the reinvestment strategy screen, you want to show that, or total principal paid. So you have different options to be able to show it on the report, and when you work Edge Live, you can always show the client the other options at that time. Now adjust reinvestment strategy. I'm just going to touch this on just really quick. If you click on that button, this is where you can apply additional money toward principal. So compared to FHA over the conventional, they're saving 140 months. So if I put in 140, 92, that's going directly to principal, and it also provides a freedom point of a little more than 24 years. So this will be able to show the borrower how you can pay down that mortgage quicker. We also have the option to be able to reinvest mortgage insurance by just double-clicking that field, and you'll see that on the 112th month there's no more MI, and you can reinvest that 132. And the way that works is just put in that number down there as well as the MI amount. So now this will carry MI additional money going toward principal. So just show that, I'm going to go ahead and press delete, remove it, and then press OK. You have these options also for a savings account as well as an investment account if you're working with financial planners. And to point out, this is where that savings balance comes into play. It will show the cash to close or the start of the savings, so you definitely have enough money in the bank for that, and then the savings rate. So if I put in a number here, you'll see that the savings over 15 years has doubled just by doing $100 a month. So you have those options to work with, and we have a great video tutorial that really goes through and explains that by reinvesting MI as well as doing lump sum payments. Moving on to the next screen, it's your contact information. Fill this information out. We do not email it, a report out directly, so feel comfortable putting in that email address. Street address, you could fill this in. You might not know it at the time of you're doing this report. You can always do to be determined, or you can use this as a label. So I'm going to put great time to buy in Irvine, California. So we have that information here. Once we move to our next screen, we have our presentation. So we're building a total cost analysis. You do have an option to do a seller buy down. If you want to check out the amortization schedules, click on that, advance the screen, you'll be able to do so. And I want to point out down here, here's your products. If I wanted to remove or as we get in support box, how do you delete a product? Uncheck that box, and now only the FHA will be shown on the report. So this is how you could go ahead and have remove and add different products. You can also build out products and not show them on the report until you're talking to the borrower, and then click on those report types to be able to display it on the report when you use Edge Live. Payment notes, you want to go ahead and put something like estimated taxes and insurance are included in your payment. Estimated taxes and insurance are included in your payment. And what this is a compliance piece. So I'm going to add that. When we get to the report, I'll show you where it will display and how it correlates to the payment. Now we're done with all our data input. So the next three screens are just to review the graphs one more time if you want to make any adjustments, or you could click on presentation, go directly to preview, and it brings you to the last screen as well. We do have an option to print and save as PDF, but the link is the key. You want to send the email link to your borrower. You don't want to print it off. You don't want to save it as a PDF. If you make any changes to the report, you're going to have to print another one and save another PDF. But the link is live. It will, they could click on it and they will see all your updates. And also the print and save piece is within that link. So if the borrower wants a hard copy or save it, they have the option to do so, and I'll show you when we get to the report. Notify me when the report is viewed. This is your email alert. Make sure that is marked. This is the one for your partner, so I'm going to click on that so they'll receive the alert. If you do not have an email address in that partner field, then you will not receive this line here. Now let's go ahead and place a quote date by clicking on the calendar, and I'm putting today's date. And let's preview our report. So this is just what you created. And with that, it's just showing a loan comparison of an FHA versus a conventional. And you'll notice that I'm highlighting and I'm also clearing out my highlights. So to do that, you just take your mouse over the field. You'll see how the cell is outlined in blue. You left click and that will provide the highlighting. Click on it again, it removes the highlights. Or if you have a lot of, discussing a lot of things, you have highlights all over the place, the clear all button at the very bottom, that will remove all your highlights at once. So with it, summary section here, let's go ahead and discuss the report a little bit. You have your quote date in the upper left. This is all the information summarizing your loan products. You have the payment stream button. I definitely click on that on FHAs to make sure you have that declining MI that's required. Same on those USDA loans. And when you click on the payment stream for the conventional, you'll see that the MI is dropping. You have 111 months and 248 months without MI. If you had a second lien, the payment stream button, you would click on the one for second lien and it will show you the payment stream for that. Now let's go ahead and click on the More Info button. And with the More Info button, you have your payment breakdown. You provide the sales price, the P&I for each of the products, and if you had a second lien, it would show that as well. Your monthly costs, and then your total pity payment. If you use that reinvestment and was adding any additional money to principal, this is where that will show as well. Now let's move to our closing cost screen. So this is where you can find the down payment and the loan to value ratio. And then you'll see it's just your fee screens again. But we have a button here for your fee details. So you'll be able to go through this, show the transparency of your fees, be able to discuss this with the borrower. I had some people, just to let you know, the word contribution, they might leave that dollar amount empty and then be able to spark that conversation if it's a purchase, so they'd be able to talk to the seller about that. So there's your fee screen, prepaid interest is displayed, borrower total costs, if you're doing contributions, so we'll show that as well. Next, you have your reinvestment strategy screen, and in here, just one moment. So you'll be able to have that. Just one moment. I got to close something down. Just one moment. Okay, there we go. So in the reinvestment strategy screen, if you had a reduction payment, you'd be able to show it here. Definitely highlight it if you are using that reinvestment, so the borrower would be able to see these different items. Same if you were doing it with the savings or the investment balance. Now let's talk about the upper right-hand corner, your monthly payment. You'll always have one graph missing, and that's because this is the highest payment. So what this is showing is on that graph is you're saving $141 over that FHA product. You click on that more info, you'll be able to have more information about that mortgage. If you had a second lien, their information will display below. Property appreciation percentage and tax bracket would display here. So you'll be able to see those numbers. Now moving to our short-term savings. What our short-term savings does is shows a saving of the unrecoverable costs. So this is your interest and mortgage insurance as well as your closing costs. So right here it's showing that we're saving $10,643 over that FHA. So how to read that? If you click on the more info, you have your interest in MI, and so we add up all the interest in MI that's been accrued over that 60-month period. So you can really see how that MI is taking an effect. And we add those closing costs to it because both of those items are unrecoverable costs. Then you have your total cost there, and that's what we do our comparison. And anytime I send a report, I always highlight this area so they'll be able to see and be able to see how those calculations are done. Right-hand corner, that's our long-term area showing interest in MI for 15 years. If you click on that more info button, this is where your property appreciation rate comes into effect. So this is showing 3% appreciation each year. At the end of 15 years, this is what your house would be worth if the appreciation stayed. So then you have the loan balance. I always like that. Shows at the end of 15 years how much they still owe. And then again the total principal, PITI, and interest at MI. You'll notice in the very lower corner you have your print button. So if you or your client wants to print, they'd have that information. And I also was talking with someone, and some people see the mobile app, but they still want that printed copy. So tell them to go ahead and print it. They'd be able to go to page 4 and really see the fees lined out. It'll be side-by-side comparison with all that information. So they do have that option to print. It provides all the information behind the more info as well as the disclaimer language. So with that, you have print and save button. We'll save it as a PDF. If you want to find that link real quick, that share button is a great way to be able to copy and grab that link if you have the report up. So that's another way of grabbing the link. So now let's show you how to create a video to go onto this report. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Edge. We were just in preview, so now let's go into Generate Link. So with that, this is what you're going to copy and paste into an email. So you have an email to your borrower, and you would ask them to click on the link to review your presentation. So now let's go ahead and put on a video. And this is a very powerful piece, because this way you can introduce yourself to the client as well as providing a message to them. So let's go ahead and click on record message, and your record screen will come up, and I'm going to say allow. If you're on Google Chrome, I just want to let you know sometimes, and I don't know when they decide to do it, it says, can we use your camera? So you have to make sure you mark yes. So if you're on Google Chrome, that's a little quirk they have. I'm going to press allow here. Hi everyone, I'm Lytle. So here you want to go ahead and provide your information. And you talk to the clients all the time on the phone. So just, it's a little different. Now you're on a camera. So just reach out, introduce yourself, provide them a little bit of details on your report, and always provide a call to action. So you'll be able to have that information in there. And what's great about this is when you have a video, you say you have a husband and wife, this is great because your information will be heard exactly from both people. So when they both listen to the report, they'll be able to hear you, opposed to having a phone conversation and have it reiterated to the next person. So you have the option to do a video. And also down here, here's your, if you wanted to record, it will start recording. So this is now recording me. You have your play button. You have your pause. So if I wanted to pause it for a moment, I could go ahead and do that and then start it back up, and it will start playing, or start recording again. Then you'll also have your play button here, and if you want to remove the video piece, you could press the trash can and it will delete that video message. For those of you who don't have a camera, some banks, we're finding out, don't want a video, but you could always place audio. So to do that, there's a record audio button here. If you click on record audio, it will then just record an audio message to you. So again, even if it's just audio, it's very powerful to provide this to your client. So that's how you record a message. And going back to Edge Live, just want to show you this button here and preview, they're exactly the same button. But let me go ahead and show you what Edge Live will do. So you see it brought up our preview that we have just seen. Let's open a new tab. I'm going to go ahead, and I had copied that link. I'm pasting it in my web bar. Once I press return, the report displays. The borrower has to click this disclaimer on the desktop as well on the mobile device to review the report. So now I have my report here. Let me go ahead. I'm bringing it to my other screen real quick, or maybe not. Just one moment. There we go. Okay, so if you're asking questions right now, I am removing the question bar, and I'm going to have both my screens showing so you can see Edge Live. This is what I've been talking about, and this is your conversation to the client. So now I'm showing both screens, and you'll notice on the right-hand side, let's see if I can get this off. On the right-hand side, you'll notice this Clear All button at the base, and on the left-hand side, there is not a Clear All button. That's how you could tell rather quickly if the client is, that it's the client-facing report versus your preview. So now with this, if you have your client on the phone and they have the report up, and the way I know the report up is that lower left-hand corner. It says one viewer. That means one person has my report up. If this is 0 and you're talking to the client, they don't have the report up on a mobile nor their desktop. Then you just want to go ahead and start discussing the product with them. So we're providing you a loan option for an FHA product as well as a conventional product. The loan amount that we have for you is, and you'll be able to identify that. And you see how I'm talking to the client and I'm driving the report through Edge Live. So I want to talk about my payment breakdown that you'll have with these two products. You'll be able to do that, and it will follow along as well. And the mobile device, it will do the same thing. It will drive the screens for them as you're talking to it and highlight these fields as well. Now we're going to our closing cost tab and see how it just changes, same as your fee details. And if I highlight a fee, you can see how the blue bar carries to that area as well. So that's a brief understanding of Edge Live. We have a great video tutorial on how to use that, but this, I mean, if you're using Edge Live or Edge and you're sending reports, you need to use Edge Live because this is really what's distinct, making you stand out between an Excel or an email, because you'll be able to use Edge Live and describe all that information to the client. So what is a great way of doing, I tell people to put a link, just like I am, on one screen and your Edge Live open on the other, and just start playing around with it and getting familiar with your Edge Live. So now let me go ahead and put it back to the single screen. Bring back up my questions, and everyone should be seeing my screen now. And let me go ahead. So now with that, I have covered all the bases on how to create a report, how to use the report, how to put a video on the report. So now what I want to do is go back to Edge, and let's close this. Click on Home, and now you'll see my file right here. I don't have a last name. Let's go to View All, and let's put in John Smith. So you'll have all the different files here, and then if you went through here, I'd be able to find my John Smith one, but there's a different way of doing a lot of things too on that. So you have your filter, you'll be able to access that, or just double click here, go into any screens, make any kind of changes. So now I want to do is go into our settings and show you where you can update those fees and product templates. So you have your fee template. Here are the two fee templates we created. So if you had any kind of updates for fees, this is where you want to do it, is in your template updates here. You can add or subtract fees as well. So you can modify the templates in the fee template tab, or in the lower left-hand corner you have a Save As. That's your Copy From button. So if you have a template already created, want to modify it for a new one, put a new name in. You can identify, again, different states if you originate in multiple states. And if you created a custom fee, there's the button Fees. And this is where you could go ahead and modify any of the descriptions. If you spelled something wrong, you could go ahead and modify in this area. You can also click on it and be able to see if your percentage is based off loan amount or property value. Now going to our product templates. Got quite a few in here. Here's our two that we had here. And what I'm going to do is review our FHA template, show you how to clean that up a little bit. So you have your template name, and then I have it marked yes, that's part of my template. 3.5% down, 15 days. I'm going to remove my interest rate because to me that's a variable item, and to me it's very important. So I'm removing that interest rate. I want to make sure I key that in. I have my term. Now if I move down the screen, you'll see 3 buttons here. If I click on Closing Cost Details, it did save my fee template down. So now if I use that product template, I'd be able to go ahead and use have my fees at the same time. If you don't want your fee template attached to it, you can remove your fees as I did and apply it to template. And now you would have to use the pick list to be able to bring in your template. So you can see how you can modify it, add it, and now if I apply to template, it's part of my template again. Monthly cost, it does have dollar numbers. It does go ahead and recalculate, but I like messing with it, and I like having a clean file. So I'm putting in 1.35, 1.25, and it's just my preference. It's not needed, but I like looking at clean. So there you go. So I have updated my monthly costs. Your upfront MI automatically calculates 2 months, 4 months, and collect 12 months premium. So to show you how this works real quick, I'm going to click on Home. I'm going to click on my file I just created. I'll show you a shortcut. I'm clicking on Analysis, and if I go back one screen, it takes me to my last product, and I want to add another product. So if I click on Add Another Product, and in this particular case, I'm showing you the copy feature. Whoops, if I spelled it right, feature. So with that, I'm just going to my template, find my FHA template I created. First I want to put in my loan amount, $250. Find my product template, 3.5% down, my defaults. Now let's go ahead and put in a rate. It's already marked yes. Move on. Upfront MI is calculated. 15 days per diem interest. Click on closing costs. I'd modify that if I needed to. And then all my monthly costs carried over. So you're done. So it's very important that you set up those templates. You can see how quick and easy it will carry you through from one product to another product. Also, let's just show you one more quick way of copying. So now there's also a copy from button. So if I clicked on that, you'll see all three products. So say if you're doing lender paid MI, monthly MI, and borrower paid MI, all same products, just different rates, different MI. So I would just go ahead and choose the product it's close to and press OK, and that carries everything from that product. So if I need to modify my closing cost details, I could go ahead and do so and modify any of the fields in my monthly costs. So if I was removing MI, I could do it that way. So just to be able to show you a couple little tools to be able to get you through creating those products quickly as well. So now with that, we're just doing house cleaning items. I'm going to go ahead and bring you to our webpage, mortgagecoach.com. And with that, we're on the community tab. I want to show you we have an Edge Hall of Fame. So if you're wanting to get an idea of how people are using the Edge reports, you could come in here. They all have video or audio, and you'll be able to see how they're using Edge reports. And I want to point out this one from Thomas Popson. He actually did a funny one. It is FHA Right for the Simpsons, and he actually developed an Edge report more for a marketing piece. So you could do more than just a straight report. You can have fun with it, create out different types of strategies as well. So we have that, and then that is it. So we're finished with our introduction class. This is the help button in Edge with our video tutorials. I want to point out our coaching call archive and our event calendar. If you click on coaching call archives, every Tuesday we have coaching calls at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You want to attend those, click here, sign up. You only have to sign up once, and then you'll receive all of them for every Tuesday reminders. Thursday training to continue your education in Edge. Attend these Thursday training calls because yesterday what we did is cover open house flyer as well as creating a TCA for your partner. So I was showing you how to be able to copy between the two partner and client-facing reports. And I had Joey come in and show you how to use the mobile device. So if you wanted to see yesterday's call, we record them all and we place them in this area here. So if you wanted to see that call, you would just click on here, be able to see how we created that open house flyer in TCA. Beginner class, today's class will be posted here, so you can review that if you want to be able to listen to that one more time. And then also back to home, our calendar of events. This tells you our what those Tuesday calls, who are going to be on them. Once you've signed up, again, you don't have to register for each one. And if you know anyone who wants to do those Friday class that you just attended, they can come here and click to register and be able to attend this Edge training as well. So with that, everyone, I am completed with our Edge basic training. If you have any questions, you want to stick around for a moment, ask questions, I'm going to be here. But as of now, we are done. And thank you very much for attending. I encourage you to get into Edge, create this basic product that we just created. Just create an FHA, create a conventional. You'll have your templates built as you're doing it. And that's the first place to do it. Just make something simple, get into Edge, create your first report. You want us to review the report, send us that link, and we'll review the report and provide you any type of questions or any kind of information that we have. So with that, everyone, enjoy your day, and if you have any questions, stick around, put it in the question box, and I will show you how to get that done. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Enjoy your day. Okay, Ryan, you had a question. How did you get the video and Edge live? Let me show you real quick. I'm going to go into my report, and with that, basically, wherever you were at last, that's where the window is going to open up to, and I was in my products. I want to go to presentation, directly up to preview, and we want to get to our very last screen. You want to click on generate link, and when you click on generate link, that's where your video button is. And as soon as you record a video, and let me just go ahead and record one and place it on here real quick, and you'll be able to see how it automatically updates to your report. So if I click on add video, and I'm clicking on record message and allow, and I'll show you how, if you want to go ahead and remove this, if you right click and press settings, and then you'll see this area here. If you don't, the very first screen, this screen, if you click on remember, you won't get that pop-up every time you come through. If you're having problems with the camera, can't locate your camera, come to that icon here and pick yours from the drop-down. Same with the mic. So that was just, to get there was right-click and press settings. So now let's record. Okay, recording. Hi everyone, my name is Lytle. This is a total cost analysis for an FHA and conventional. And you'll see I have my copy and my product for feature. So with that, once you stop, I'm pressing the stop. Recording is complete. So I'm done with my recording. As soon as I close out, just to show you, going back to Edge, let's click on Edge Live. I probably want to do that here. Yeah, it does. Yep, it did pop up. So here's my video. See how as soon as you complete the video, it automatically appends to your report. Same with the mobile device. So that's how to do the recording for your video. Now go back to Edge. How do you use Edge Live and how do you access it? It's the Edge Live button. Same with that generate link. If I click on preview, it's the same button too. I just wanted to let you know. But if you click on generate link, I click on Edge Live. Right now, if the person has the report open, anything you do, you'll see the highlights and whatnot. So that's how you start with Edge Live. So to recommend for just practice purpose, when you go into your account, when you go into the home screen of your account, even if you haven't created a report, there are sample reports. Go into any one of those sample reports, go to the very last screen, click on generate link, and grab that link and place it on the second monitor. And once you have done that, click on Edge Live, and then just start highlighting and see how it opens up on the other side and get familiar with how Edge Live works. And once you start working with it, you'll be amazed how quick and easy it is. And this is really the piece that Edge Live is one of the reasons why I came to Mortgage Coach, because you'd be able to really drive and show that consumer or the borrower how to be able to understand their mortgage loans. And we all went through the financial crisis. We know how people do not read their mortgage documents. So to me, it's very important. Mortgage education is very important to the client and understanding their products. So real quick, since you're on the phone, let's go ahead and show you how to remove these two products. Go into Edge. I'm pressing close. I'm clicking on presentation, and I'm going into select report. I'm excluding those two for my products, and let's go check out our report and see how they've been removed. So that's a quick, got my video. That's how you can quickly remove products. Just as you have it built, now you're talking to the client, you want to add that product, maybe an arm. They didn't want to initially see it, but you know it's really good for their particular goals. You can have it there and then place, go ahead and click on it, and their report will automatically update with that figure. So again, you can keep adding and removing products from there by using that feature. I hope that answered your question, Ryan. Anyone else, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll go ahead and answer them for you. Great, I'm glad, Ryan. And again, just go ahead and use any questions at all, email us at support. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.